So we got some big reveals today here on the Transformer Slag podcast, some first looks of some Transformer product. We're not going to waste your time today. We're just going to keep you educated, entertained, and informed like we always do here on the Transformer Slag podcast. And the first thing we're going to be jumping right into is some Amazon exclusives. We have the Amazon exclusive Mayhem Doom and Destruction 2-packs. We've gotten some already shipped in the mail. We've had some others revealed to us. But we're still missing one more of those 2-packs, and we're looking at this one here today. It is the Voyager class IDW Bludgeon with Deluxe class G1 Ruckus, the last of these Mayhem Doom and Destruction 2-packs, this last pairing. We only have the robot modes. We only have this one-shot image from the Chinese message boards, but let's jump into it. First, we're going to cover this Bludgeon here. While people will be quick to say that it is a straight-up repaint of the Legacy Bludgeon that we got before, this is actually a brand new tooling in a lot of different ways. It uses that old Tarn mold from the beginning, which then became the Bludgeon, but it puts some brand new spins on it. We have a brand new head sculpt on it, a brand new chest, and a slightly new tooled crotch piece area. Otherwise, everything else is the same. It is kind of a fusion of the two because we have a lot of the weaponry and the ideas from the Tarn figure, but no doubt, while it's not shown here, will include the extra sword accessory that was included with the Bludgeon repaint and give us something that is a beautiful menagerie of how he looked. And how is he based on? What is he based on? So this new head sculpt that's put on it, along with the coloring and the sculpting on the chest and everything, is depicting him in his super early depiction in the IDW comic book, specifically the Stormbringer miniseries. And it's based off of Don Figueroa's design from the Stormbringer miniseries, and it looks really good in all honesty. The head really is the selling point of this in a lot of ways because it has that unique head sculpt that Don designed for the Stormbringer books. But otherwise, it's really just kind of a fusion and menagerie of those two molds with some new tooling in the chest and the crotch. And I think it looks great. We don't have a shot of the alt mode. So if you want to get an idea of what the alt mode is going to look like, kind of look at the Tarn alt mode and just kind of put that coloring on it. And you can get a general idea of what it's going to look like more or less. But it's all about that robot mode. And again, he's probably going to come with the sword because the tooling and the mold in the factory will have the sword on there. I doubt they're going to leave that out with a character that is historically have always been associated with a sword outside of his original toy. So you got two Bludgeon molds, you got two Tarn molds now. Hasbro's already done this 4 times now, so they definitely got a lot of mileage out of this mold for sure. But speaking of molds that up to this point have not got repainted or retooled until just today, let's talk about Bludgeon's partner in crime, or Mayhem in this case, in the Deluxe class G1 Ruckus. A super extensive retool of the Legacy Deluxe class Beachcomber mold. So it looks like we got a new head, new chest, new upper body, along with some new legs. It looks like the only old tooling on it is more or less the crotch area, the shoulders, the arms, and the fists. The legs are so new in tooling that they're a complete departure from what the Beachcomber was. It doesn't even have the ankle tilts anymore. But it tells me that that new tooling of the legs is going to lead to a vastly different looking alt mode that is much more in tune with what the original 1988 G1 figure kind of had as an alt mode instead of the dune buggy that is Beachcomber. This looks really, really cool. I might have a bit of a bias because, I have a connection with this character. I wrote the bio and worked on the lore of this guy during that Combiner Wars era, even fleshed him out being the brother of Groundhog, the Micromaster and everything. But this is an important figure because outside of that 1988 G1 Bludgeon toy and the limited exclusive, Combiner Wars release that was through a subscription service, we never really got anything that was a good update of this character that was 100% getting the design down. So this is the first time in like 36 years that he's getting a decent figure because he's only had 2 figures in 36 years, a G1 toy and exclusive club subscription service figure. So this is something you can get through Amazon. It's going to be probably the best version of this character yet, and it'll look pretty stellar. I mean, it looks really good. We don't have alt mode photos yet, so we're going to probably have some kind of update at some point. But again, these are going to be part of that Doom and Destruction Mayhem 2-pack series from Amazon, so stay tuned. We'll have more info and images later, probably this week, with the Transformer Slag podcast. But the big takeaway is now your trigger cons with Ruckus are complete. You got your Windsweeper update, you got your Crankcase update, and now we're going to get Ruckus. And like Mark and Evan always try to do, they want to get those micro collections complete. And now the trigger cons are 100% complete. So that's pretty hype. We got one more big reveal to talk about, and it's our first look, at least kinda, but our first look via the Chinese message board Baidu, our very first look of what seems to be Studio Series 86 Commander Class G1 Optimus Prime. All we got here today, people, is piano playing convoy over here. This is clearly going to come from some kind of promotional thing that's going to be happening, but from what we could tell, it's using a lot of that concept and transformation and twists and turns that originally came from the MP44 Masterpiece G1 Convoy, aka Masterpiece Optimus Prime 3.0. You know, so you could see when you do the side-by-sides, there's a lot of that similar kind of twists and turns, so probably expect something that's going to be in tune with that, just hopefully with, not having to pay that much as the original MP44 did. They milked that Earthrise leader mold of Optimus for so long. It's now time to move on to the next truck leader mold. And no doubt even this one, after we get this one, will be repainted in every color of the rainbow as we see it here. I'm excited. It's going to be cool. I mean, if the Ultra Magnus is any indication, which was another truck trailer bot, and that was a Commander class through Studio Series 86, and they nailed that one out of the park. So I imagine that this one's going to be just as good, and using the Masterpiece as a foundation, especially the MP44 that's ridiculously screen accurate from that Fluoro-Deary design. I mean, sign me up. It's going to be really good, and I imagine that we're going to get the Black Convoy and everything like that afterwards, the Scourges and the Shattered Glasses. The sky is the limit, but the limit is never even the sky when it comes to Hasbro. No doubt we'll get a full reveal of this at San Diego Comic-Con in the next few weeks, so I'll try to keep you covered on that. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con in the flesh at the Symbiote Studios booth and the Hasbro booth, so I'll keep you posted on that and everything, but stay tuned. And that's it for everything that's on the table here today. We'll get more stuff probably later this week. We do have that video game reveal that popped up yesterday that I didn't cover. We have some stuff that we want to chew on with that over the next couple of days, because there's some other things that are going to be popping off with that from Outright Games. But thanks for listening to the Transformer Slag podcast. And as always, thank you for listening to all the craziness we do here. And like I said, we'll talk to you in the near future.